This is a quick video on how to set up a bare bones blog built with React using Contentful as the backend API for all of its blog posts. So first thing you will want to do is clone the bare bones code repo off of GitHub. CD into that repo, run npm install. It's going to take a while to install all the packages. And while it's loading up all the packages, this video assumes that you have some experience with React and JavaScript, some experience with working with an API would be nice, but I wouldn't say it's necessary. Alright, it has finished the install. Now we can start it. Alright, there it goes. So it's very bare bones. It's really left to the person who chooses to use this to implement and flesh it out however they like. And right now, it's not pulling anything from Contentful because we need to set up the API tokens. Alright, so a bit about Contentful. It's a content as a service. You can define content models, which will define how your content will look like. For these content models, they're pretty much like JSON objects. You can have media here as well, but in this tutorial, we won't be touching media. And we have content here. This pretty much follows a content model. And you can see that I've already created 2 blog entries. So let's take a look at the code. Open the repo in your favorite IDE or text editor. In our example, we'll be using Visual Studio Code. So this is a React application. This is the root JavaScript that renders the React application. This is our index.html. And this root div will be replaced with our React application. It's called app, and it'll find root and it'll render the component app. In app, we have a router with the route to the blog, which contains all entries. We have a route to a specific entry of a blog post, and we have a catch-all route that just goes to home. Home is very simple in our example. You can see it here. And when they click blog, they'll go to the blog route, which renders the blog component. It fetches all blog posts with the Contentful library that we import in Contentful util. And each blog entry is just a preview. It gets truncated after 150 characters. And when I click the read more link, it'll route to the specific blog entry, which is blog post. Uses the Contentful library to fetch a specific post if it didn't get it in the props. And in the future, I'll probably use Redux so that we won't have to constantly fetch the contents of the blog post all the time. I'm going to save it in the Redux store. Alright, so let's take a look at Contentful util. It requires a space ID and access token ID. We create a space through Contentful. I've already created a space, and I'm only limited to one since I'm using the free edition. So I'll leave it up to you to create the space. And you can create a new API key through settings, API key, add API key. We'll have the space ID here and the access token here. So just copy and paste it in there. Copy, paste it in there. Save, save. And after that, you'll want to create the content model for the blog. I've already created it, but just to show you an example, we blog to let's hit create. And let's add the fields for our blog. For our fields, we'll have title. It'll be the title of the blog. Path. It'll be the path of the URL after the blog path, so that it'll be the blog post parameter here. We'll have content. That'll be the content of the blog. We'll have icon. That'll be a link to a picture on the internet. I've been using Imgur for it. We'll have date for when the blog post was created at, or the date that you wanted to set it to be. And that's all we'll have for the fields. So let's add some fields. Start with the title. Let's do text, short text. Path, that'll also be a short text. Content, that will be a long text. So just go to text again and click this long text radio button. Icon, that'll be a short text. Sorry, that'll be a long text. Just in case the URL is super long. And finally, we have date. That will be a date and time. And remember, for your content model, it won't be named blog2. It'll just be named blog. So let's hit save. Now let's add some entries. Go to content, hit add entry. Let's say let's get some sample text. Icon, let's just get a random picture. Let's get something happy. There's too much negativity in the world right now. Date, let's set it as, let's set it as the first. All right. Click save, and we should have it saved as a content. All right, since my content model is blog2, I'm gonna have to modify the Contentful util a bit here. Content type blog2. All right, let's see if that loads. Hey, it's already there. Cool. So just to go back and see the full example, this is the home page. Let's go click go to blog. We'll load the blog previews. It'll show the date here. We can click read more to show the full blog post. We have the picture of Santa. We have the title. We have the content. We have the date, and we have the icon. So it's up to you from this point on how you want to play with the blog set it up for your own personal use. Hope it was helpful for you. Thanks, and if it was, hit the like and subscribe.